Okay, let's try to knock this out really quick. I'm going to talk to you about making my little copyrighted invention, ISBN 09712541-9-2. I call it the Wheeler Luxorb. As you can see it here, we have two sections. We have a reflector section, and we have a conical section. Right here, it is attached to a 12 gauge copper wire. You can use 14 gauge or 10 gauge. Now, first I'm going to go over assembly, disassembly of the unit, going in reverse order here. So once I actually attach the disc number one to my speed light, first I'm going to have to put a large piece of Velcro on the top of my speed light, two small pieces of Velcro on either side, which is where most pros have Velcro anyway. Most of them don't have them on the top, but you'll need one on the top. And download it's nikonfocus.com/luxorb, Luxorb. Lux is Latin for light, so it's orb of light. This weighs less than 1 ounce when completed. Incredibly stable, amazing results. Nothing else produces the light that this produces. I kid you not. I know you've never seen a ring light like this before. You use Mylar. Get some Mylar balloons. What you can buy, however, now you can get them for like, if you buy 5 of them, you can get them for like $1.50 a piece. They're space blankets. So all I did was actually cut up, I made many of these space blankets. It's got a dull side or slightly duller side and a shiny side, so obviously you want to use the shiny side. You can't use aluminum foil. You could, but it's not shiny enough. So this is just a space blanket. Like you can get it at a camping store. You can buy them for like $2 a piece on eBay. The total cost of this thing is like $5. Depends on whether you have the glitter or not. Obviously, is a jar of a jumbo silver glitter. The template is in the little copyrighted book. That's a free download. If you'd like to make a $2 donation, that's fine. I'm not making these videos to shill anybody for money. If you make it and you're happy with it, then that's good. As you can see here from the template, it can be printed out on an 8x10 sheet of paper. The best and easiest way is I give the exact radius of both circles. And all you're using is 2 circles. The center circle, the center disc, becomes the cone section. All you have to do is actually cut it out and then cut right down the center, and then you cut this piece out on disc number 2 after you cut disc number 2 out. So you cut it out, and this overlap, you can see that right here I've taped the inside of it, and then I've actually taped the seam right here with clear Scotch tape. Okay, now on this section I've actually taped the outside of it here at the seam, and at the overlap here, which you do want this much overlap, after you cut it out, you don't cut this part out, you actually stretch this over here to where this part meets right here, and then after you tape underneath here, you glue right here underneath the flap and press it until it dries, okay? And then what you end up with is disc number 1, which is the reflector. And then you add 2 pieces of Velcro to either side at 180 degrees from each other. Okay, so you can actually attach it to the back of your speed light. Now the way this wire is shaped, and I've actually got the diagram for the wire right here, showing the exact length, loop 5.5 centimeters, 2 centimeters out, 1.5 centimeters up, 7 centimeters out, 3 centimeters down, 7 centimeters. You can actually see and replicate the exact shape. You can almost do it by hand, but you need a little pair of wire pliers. This is 12 gauge copper wire. It could be 14 gauge, it could be 10 gauge, that's fine. I've cut out a piece of Velcro. The only thing that you do at the end, but it's in the little book for download at nikonfocus.com/luxorb.pdf, is at the end I actually take the piece of copper wire and loop it back 2 times so it makes a flat piece. And then I attach a piece of Velcro to that so it will actually sandwich into this piece of Velcro very easy and very nicely, thereby making a flat section back here. And all I've done in creating the flat section is I've looped the copper wire back on itself a couple times. So that is super easy to do. So obviously you know how to make the cone. Actually what you do first is you take 2 sheets, 8x10 sheets of heavy black cardstock. You put glue absolutely everywhere. You press them together, you lay some books on top until it completely dries, okay? And then you take your compass, you measure out what it needs to be, and you just draw out your two discs, disc 1 and disc 2, which are one is just directly inside of the other one, and cut them out, And what you do is you take your Mylar and you can actually stretch it and tape it down on something else with the shiniest side down. So you stretch it nice and flat. And then what I'll do is I'll actually take my disc here, reflector number 1, I'll smear glue all around here. And then I'll lay it flat on the Mylar. I'll press it again for it to dry. Okay, then I'll cut it out, obviously so. And then once I do that, you can see the overlap that I have here. See, it's one complete disc, and this is what I overlap to. I'm overlapping here to here, so in overlapping here to here, I create this disc section like this, which ends up looking like that. And you do the same thing to create the cone section, except it's more dramatic, and it creates a perfect cone so that you have, you're inserting it through here, you have your speed light is hitting this reflector cone and then bouncing off the secondary cone onto your primary reflector, and from the primary reflector it's going out and wrapping around your subject matter and creating very fascinating, very unique light. Especially, this one's very unique enough. To step it up, this one is a little bit longer to do because obviously gluing one sheet of Mylar takes a lot less time than smearing this whole piece with glue and then sitting there sprinkling glitter on and then pressing it flat. And then once you press it flat, you'll need to do the same thing, like a plastic sheet over top of it so it doesn't stick, and then press it underneath the books until it dries, and then create the cone section out of it. So very simple, huh? Doesn't weigh anything. And then in assembly, obviously you put your primary reflector on first. You stick your secondary disc in second, and then you know right where to mark it. Of course, you're able to move this in and out for effect, obviously wherever you want. But 4 centimeters is ideal, and that's in the 12-page book that you can download. It has lots of pictures, and it has this template. Okay, now I'm going to affix at the proper location my secondary cone. And you can see if you affix it properly, and then set the Velcro down. If you fix it properly, if you're looking dead on the flash, you will not see the flash at all. All you will see is the secondary disc. And that is exactly where you want it. I need to move it a little bit. There we go. So now we have it set perfectly. So now the speed light is reflecting on this secondary cone, back to our primary, which is covered in silver glitter. And this is my little invention called the Luxorb, and I think this is the coolest photography friggin' hack out there. And I've built a lot of damn ring lights, the do-it-yourself ring lights. And they suck, they're heavy, they're expensive, they're convoluted, they're stupid. I mean, they look like, something Jed Clampett from, the Beverly Hillbillies would make, and this is the cat's ass. You want me to say the cat's ass there? I said it. It's cat's ass. Not just because I created it. Like I say, you don't have to donate anything. The little book is free. It's copyrighted of July. ONS 254-1-9-2. Download it, create it yourself for $3 or $4. All you'll need to buy is like a $3 jar of glitter. So ultimately, if you have to buy all the stuff new, it's going to cost you $5 or $6. But once you got that, you can make several of them. I mean, the freaking space blanket is only $2, so I mean, that's cheap thrills there. You can get those off of eBay all day long. If you buy 5 of them, you can get them for like $1.40 a piece. So simplicity is divinity. Hopefully, someday here in the near future, I can actually maybe go into production on this thing in a more professional sense and create a hardcore, mirror-coated plastic and a simple retractable secondary cone, because this is the cat's ass. It really does create a very unique light mod, and it effing rocks. Excuse my language. It just rocks. And check the link below for the template and the instructions on creating it, yada yada yada. And if you like the video, drop me a like or two, or go tell me to jump off a cliff or where to stick it. Whatever makes you happy. I was glad to show you this, and thanks for watching.